Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 76 of Direwolf20's Age of Engineering series. Today I am continuing what is a long tradition of moving my base from one dimension to another. There is so much stuff to move. I've moved a ton off camera already, and there's more to go. So that's a thing that I'm having fun with. So hooray for fun things. Weird thing happening, by the way, every now and then. For whatever reason, cross-dimensionally, like, it feels like the other dimension isn't being chunk-loaded 100% of the time, which is weird. So, like, every now and then I lose access to my drawer, to my drives, which are already over there. It's really, really strange. And it only seems to happen when I'm here in this dimension. So when I go back to my space station, I'm fine. But I confirmed that my space station is 100% chunk-loaded. So I don't know what the deal is with that. It's definitely a weird kind of a thing. So that means we don't need you anymore. Huzzah. And technically I don't need you anymore. Huzzah. So that's exciting. This thing's still hooked up. So you can see it's like trying to make withers right now. But like I totally have, like if you look, like I don't have access to any of the stuff in my network, which is weird because the other dimension is chunk loaded and should be working. But as soon as we go back over there, we'll see everything is fine. So I don't know what's up with that, but it's definitely weird. Weird. So you've got a storage crate keeper in you, so I'm gonna pick this dude up. Oh, you got it in my offhand somehow. Nice. So you can see, like, so this is more than it's ever been, right? Like, usually it like blips on and off. Now it's like been off for a while. But as soon as I go back to this dimension and check, everything should, in fact, be groovy. See? 80 nether stars. Like, all our stuff is, in fact, here. It's like it's just casually getting... Ah! Wrong place to teleport onto the ground. Maybe you are in this corner. There you are. So yeah, these guys almost seem like they're losing connection for some reason when I'm not in this area. Even though, like, totally chunk-loaded, right? Like, hello, I'm chunk-loaded. I'm just fine. Chunk-loaded. Chunk-loaded. Everybody's chunk-loaded. So why are you being so weird? Why indeed? I don't know. But you can see I moved over my... I upgraded all my crafting storage to 16K. So remember I had like 1 or 2 16s and a few 4Ks, so like I bumped them all up to 16K. I also threw 3 co-processors per crafting storage, which means they can craft more than one thing at a time as needed, which is gonna speed up our crafting ability much so, which is awesome. And over here I've got my ME drives, which is neat. And now I can put away my stuff because I had like no storage before. Sweet. And we've got some drawers and controllers and compacting drawers and lots of drawers to place down. So that's what I'm going to go do right now. I haven't exactly mapped out because I didn't actually count how many of these drawers I have. Let's maybe do that real quick and then I'll have a better idea of what I got to do. So I've got, why don't we like remove you guys so we have an actual count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 13 by 6 is 78 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is 83, right? So I've got to place down 83 blocks somewhere here. So here we've got, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's like 49, right? So that's about half the size that I need. So that's a thing that I'm gonna have to figure out. So like what I could also do is maybe just run it across here. 10 across, right? And then we can go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that would be 70, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we could do 11 by 77, and I need 78, so that's pretty darn close to what I need. I could probably, I think there's one drawer here that's actually empty. So if I did stick with that, this would be actually kind of perfect. Like literally the exact size that I need. So maybe that's how I'll do it. And then we'll have like somewhere, maybe behind it, we could have our controller like right in the middle, right? So what would be the middle position here? Right? Does that look middle? Yeah, that's pretty much middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I could even maybe move these guys. I kind of want them to be visible, and I might even wind up with more more, drives on top of them, because if we ever need more storage, which we may eventually at some point. But for now, I think we're cool. So let's do this. Let's put away our tape packages. And you guys, we're going to definitely want our storage buses. I don't need these P2P tunnels, and this is an extra drawer controller. Because remember, I had 2 sets of drawers. I had the logic circuits and like the generic storage stuff. So let's get this guy all up and running, shall we? So you are basically going to be here, right? And then that's our first. So I'll be back in a minute once I've placed all these. So it's not beautiful, per se, but it actually does fit pretty close. I'm missing a few. I must have miscalculated a little bit of what I needed to do here. So let's throw down another column, I guess. Boy, that's a nuisance. How many more do I have here? 5 more to place down? I must have mismathed. Oh well. That'll work. Good enough for me. We might have a few more there eventually. Now the only challenge, I guess, will be sneak in. You know what? Let's. How do I want to get? I want to get cable behind this wall without breaking into the structure too much. But I suspect if I get facades, let's see if facades are airproof. Right. So if I wanted to do this. Right, now we have no oxygen, right? But if I put this here with a facade on it, still no oxygen. Brutal. So facades don't count as solid blocks. That's today I learned. Interesting. So how can I get cabling back there without a facade? That's trickier than it sounds, actually. I guess I'll be back in a minute when I figure that out. Well, I guess the best way probably to do it would be like this. So I just removed one of these corner pieces here, and I can run this down with a storage bus, which we'll want to remember. We want our storage bus to be configured for a high priority, right? Nice. So now we should have access to all our goods again. Hooray! All the things. Nice. So storage system back up and running, and that's cool. There we go. Just cut down on the dire wire a little bit there, and we're back up and running. Sweet. So that's pretty functional. Nice. All right, back to the main base again to figure out what else needs to be moved. I think today's IC2 moving day is pretty much what my plan was. The last episode was supposed to be IC2 moving day, but then we wound up rewiring a whole bunch of channels, and we've got the AE system really solid on the end, on the other side here. So like that is awesome. And yeah, everything's going really nicely over there. So what do we got left here, by the way, channel-wise? 19 channels? That is not terrible. There is not that much left. There's like a few things like this. I'm gonna keep an eye on this for a few minutes because I'm curious to see if we keep flickering with our network or not. So I'll be back in a minute. And I also want to start preparing for the IC2 move day. And then I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to check, but I think I'll do IC2 move, and then I'll move a bunch of stuff off camera again. And what I'll do is if I determine that I can do everything off camera, that will be like, you know, good to do off camera, then I will. And if it turns out that, hey, I'd like to do this bit on camera, then I will. So that's pretty much the plan. How's my replicator doing, by the way? Nice. Okay, cool. So if I put you on single run, that'll clear out the last bit. And what do we got for you, matter left? Not terrible. Let's do machine chassis. Not these. Let's do the advanced machines, just because. You know, I'm going to do capacitors. You're 4. So that's not terrible. So I can repeat run you until this thing is dry. That's pretty much what I'm going to do. All right, back in a minute. All right, considering it's IC2 moving day, I think our best bet here. Hey, why are you being such a dork? And that's the wrong kind of motor, by the way, for the record. Yeah, we're definitely having like weird power connection issues. So let's get our coils ×2. Yeah, definitely like a weird connection issue across the bridge here that I haven't really figured out yet. But it's not going to be a problem long because I think it's only relevant when I'm not in that dimension, and soon I'll pretty much always be in that dimension, so not super problematic. If I had an energy crystal, just out of curiosity, would you be able to charge, or would I need a Lapatronic backpack or something like that? Energy pack. No, it's a charging energy crystal. So let's make one of these. See? That's what happens. Like, we're not out of redstone and diamonds. I know that. You know that. For whatever reason, it just decides to be a derp. And like in a second, it'll be back. See? Now it's there. So something's funky. But yeah, let's... Oh boy, I don't want to make all that. Yeah, that's a lot of things I don't feel like making. Well, we'll make it off camera. All right, all set. So I made myself an advanced charging battery, which is cool. And I also went looking for my hazmat suit, and I couldn't find it. So it must be in some chest somewhere that I lost. So long story short, I'm going to have to figure out what I did with it. But for now, we are in cool shape. So we're ready to start moving. I'm going to move my reactors first, I think. So I should probably just put away my dark armor set. I can put away these cables that I got. I don't need a lot of this right now. Everything else I'll kind of hang on to for the time being. Let's also shut down any and all of this. Because as we're breaking this stuff apart, it would probably be a really bad idea to have the reactors running. Right? So your current output is 0 EU per tick, which is cool. And we can get rid of you. I never put a lever on that one. Nice. How's this? Wow, I've got a lot of UU matter here. And how's this doing? All right, it's still cooking along there. So I've got my crates here. Let's start loading up everything we're gonna need for this setup. So I guess the easiest way probably to take this apart would just be to... That'll work, right? Yay, magnets. Hey, that's an awesome way to do it. I like it. Cool. So that's all the things I'm going to need for a reactor. Sweet. You know what else I should do that would be like super smart of me? Is to take a screenshot of this right now, just so I know what it looks like. I'm going to make sure to hide that save screenshot number. Because every time I take a screenshot in game, inevitably there's somebody in the comments saying, that's when you recorded this video? It's actually not that far in advance. Like, today's the 9th. So I guess this video will go live in probably under a week. So there you go. I was just teasing you guys. So yeah, let's... Zoinks. That's cool. Picking up all the things. Beautiful. Nice. Can't complain at all about that. So that's all our reactor setup stuff. Dude, I have so much... Such a mess down here, guys. Like, distilled... I guess I do still need the distilled water setup. That's a fact. Should probably take a few screenshots here of like different configurations that I've had to keep this going. I haven't figured out how I'm going to generate IC2 power. I did look at making a fusion reactor from Tech Reborn, and I discovered it's a little buggy. It's not super useful to make. It's supposed to require a bunch of power up front and then like keep running. But it keeps resetting the amount of power it needs, so in the end you wind up not generating any power in one setup, and you generate a very small amount of power in another setup. And those are the only two options you have. So it's not 100% great as it relates to an option for stuff. All right, so just to be clear, we have an empty mass fab here, which means we won't be losing any UU matter by picking it up. Cool. Oh, right. I don't have a jetpack, do I? So used to having one of those guys, let me tell you. And then we'll put this away, and all my cobble can go into here. Nice. Super cool. And you, crafter, yeah, I'll take you with me. Do you retain your inventory when I pick you up? Signs point to yes. Sweet. All right, so you can go away. all these speed upgrades and stuff. Nice. And you have a storage crate keeper. Good. All right, what else should we move right now? You've got a ways to go with your UU matter. All right, finally emptied out the UU matter in this replicator. Nice. Hooray! Now here's the question. If I pick up this pattern storage and replace it, do I lose all the patterns that I've stored? I honestly don't know. But what I did make sure is that I have at least one of each of these. So I have a basic capacitor, I have an advanced machine casing, I have a sturdy casing, I have a machine chassis, I have machine frames, tiny piles of uranium or plutonium, advanced alloy, plutonium. I've got all these things. Iridium I make up here anyway now in this thing with iron. So like I'm really not replicating iridium anymore. So I think even if we lose what's in this pattern storage, so I'm just curious, like I'm assuming that you don't. Oh, you do? Oh, wow. Okay, cool. So he retains his stuff. How cool is that? And with that, we suddenly have the ability to clean up a bunch of cabling. Sweet. All right, so that's a significant amount of stuff cleaned up. And we can put that in here now. So let's keep cleaning up down here. Hey, remember when I said Tech Reborn machines need to be broken with a wrench? And not to forget that? Well, guess what I forgot to do. Whoops. Oh well. No big deal. I'll just make sure to craft a new, whatever that machine was. Crusher or something like that? So that's a pretty cleared out area. Wow. That's a lot of stuff that I got going on down here. But that's cool. It's going. It's cruising. Next area to clean up would be up here, I presume. We can just start Tech Reborn. I think we have the Tech Reborn wrench, though. Come on, derpy system. Come back to me. There you are. Thank you. See what I mean? It's being weird. Just today, all of a sudden. Thank you. Yeah. Sweet. All right, and then these. Oh boy, lots of inventory fullness. I assume there's, yeah, there we go. So close to having enough room in there. All right, so you guys go in. Cool. We might actually fit a lot of this stuff. I might make it in one barrel trip. So this guy's totally full. Let me just make sure that there's no real urgent need for. So you've got at least one pattern in you. Inventory's getting there. I think we're gonna need a second crate. I had a second crate around here somewhere. What do I do with it? I probably don't need this piece of dirt. That doesn't need to go into the crate. There's my other crate. You stay out here. You definitely go in here. And probably do need this crafting card for whatever that was. Oh, you're a Tech Reborn machine. Yeah. Sweet. Okay. Which means I can now take you. Who'da thunk? Wow, we have a lot of junk. But that should actually clear up a lot of the space. Like once this is complete, we should be in beautiful shape. This is no longer really needed. That's always been kind of a pain in my butt. I might make a nice solar array. That would be cool, right? Like if we made an HV solar array, we could probably do that with just a little bit of crafting teaching, and yeah, that actually wouldn't be too bad to make. What's involved in making an HV solar array? Just curious. Solar array, high voltage, just needs an HV transformer, and we just need like these circuits are easy to make, and these furnaces and coal dust, like that seems like well within reason. We could totally make just like a passive 512 EU per tick power gen. That would not be bad at all to make. That's totally doable. That's a thing I might do. Like, absolutely. Because I've been kind of considering how I want to do my power in my new IC2 base. Like, obviously we'll have the reactors running, specifically for the mass fabs and everything else. But that's interesting. That's an idea. Okay, so I'm going to call that pretty much cleaned up. I mean, obviously this is still here, and I think I'm going to leave it there for the time being. But everything else IC2-ish is cleaned up. So let's put all this away. Right. And that looks cool to me. So I'll meet you guys back at the base. All right, so this little room over here was designated as my IC2/Tech Reborn/reactors room. I have to get a basement under here, so let's get our spacesuit and off camera real quick. I'm going to take care of making this room larger. Builder's wand time. All right, as usual, if I did this correctly, we did not lose pressure. And over here we have no pressure, but as soon as I do this, we should get pressure. Yay, pressurized room. Hooray, hooray. Love it when I do it correctly. And it all just works. Cool. So then we can throw a dense cable on here. We can load up our memory card. We already saved it, so loaded. And now we have access. I could probably move it back one. Loaded. Just to center him in the room like I've been doing. Nice. All right, so here's our IC2 room. Let's start mapping out where we're gonna have stuff, right? So we're probably gonna want most of our machines upstairs, and at this point we can remove this suit and get ready to have the other one on, probably. Well, you're supposed to actually go in there, but that's cool. I think for now, let's put our dark armor suit back on. And our vibrant jetpack. Oh wow, we have two. How did that happen? Weird little dupe bug there. Do I have two of dark armor? I do. That's weird. Something goofy happened there. Some kind of weirdness going on with the system right now, but what? I would imagine that was just coming from some kind of weird individualized dupe bug. I don't know how that happened. But like I said, there's been like weirdness with the chunk loading, so maybe somehow something got duped. I have no idea. But that's all right. I'll probably just void those. Let's see. Do I have a trash can? Sure I do. So just to prove that on camera, I'm avoiding any duped weirdness. Dark. So the chest plate didn't get duped. Vibrant. So you, and you. Cool. All right, so no more duped items. Wish I knew how to replicate that. Okay. So now let's think about how we're going to want to build this out. So we've got to do... So this could be one reactor, right? And if that's one, could this be another without them actually touching? In such a way that would cause them to, you know, derp up the multi-block. See, that would look cool, I think. That actually looks really good. That's how my reactors could look. Right, and that would look pretty neat. Yeah, I kind of like how that looks with like the staggered approach. And if we wanted to, we could like stagger it more and have more reactors. So that could be our reactor power gen that all feeds up to like an upstairs area where there's some kind of, I'd probably want my machines up here. I think our MFSU should be down here somewhere that's actually like getting this power. So maybe the MFSU could be here with cables running out this way. So like these cables would feed up into the back of the MFSU, and we could also have on the outside here that HV solar array that'll get solar power for us. That would be cool too, just outside the back there. Nice, that would be awesome. And then inside, Like, obviously, there's lots of machines to place down, so it's going to be hard for me to guess, like, where everything needs to go. But let's start building. What do you say? Cool. Nice. All right, so we're probably at the point where I'm going to want to have a hazmat suit on. Let's build the reactors. And what I'll do real quick here is I'll place all my nuclear reactors. And then I can build around that, and then off camera I'm going to fill them up with all the items, because that's just some like tedious, boring stuff that I have to do. So I'll be back in a minute when that's done. Alright, so we've got 2 MFSUs going here, right? So how do I want to run that? One I'm thinking could go up here, right? And this one's almost full, so that's what I'll put up here. This, so like what we'll do is we'll run cabling, which I should have got some of. Am I done with fuel rods? For the time being, I guess I am. I just know at some point I'm going to accidentally put a fuel rod in my inventory and I don't have a thing on. I'm going to die and everybody's going to laugh at me. That's all right. It's all right. It's all in the name of science or something. Cool. Kind of want to mirror this. How's that look? Not terrible? Alright, so you guys can all, you know, do your thing. And then I'm going to want this MFSU to be the one that toggles these on and off. So are you still set to, alright, emit if full. So I want you to emit a redstone signal if you're full. Emit if partially full. Emit if partially filled or empty. So what I want to do here, yeah, this is the one I want. I think that's what I had from before anyway. So if I do this, right, now we'll probably want to have you guys also connecting like so. So what we'll have is we'll basically have 2 sets of power flow, right? One will go up there to power my machines upstairs and will rarely be used, and it'll drain every now and then, but that's okay. And then the other power flow option, or should I combine these into like one? I wish there was a bigger power source. I checked out the LESU and I didn't like it. So MFSU is kind of the way to go for now, unless there's another power storage option that I'm not aware of. So I could do it that way, right? Where like, or, because I really want to have like a buffer of energy available here for all the machines upstairs to run whenever they need it, right? And then I want another one that's just constantly just dumping its power into making UU matter. So I think having the 2 separate lines is probably the way to go. So yeah, that's what I've just decided this moment I'm going to go off of. Cool. So now for you, I remember you having like an update issue, so I needed to have redstone on this thing, which is unfortunate because it would look amazing if I didn't have to do that. But we need that 1 redstone dust to handle it. And what we'll probably wind up doing here is this. Man, it would be so cool if I didn't have to do this. It would look a lot nicer, but what are you gonna do? Cool. So you and you and you, and hopefully these don't explode. So far, no core temperature going up, so that's nice. I did like triple check that my screenshot matched my reactor build, but I think that they're all good. And then you should be getting power, right? And about half of the package should be going here and about half to down here. So if I got my EU reader, which hopefully I have still around here somewhere, I do. Right, so your energy in is fluctuating around 550-ish, and your energy in is fluctuating right around 600-ish, so 550-ish. So yeah, it is pretty much on par with what I would expect, right? So we've got, yeah, it's doing right, it's good. So about half the energy is going into here, which will get dumped into, and then when this fills up, all the energy will wind up going into here, right? So like right now this is fluctuating a bunch. Once this thing fills, then we'll be telling a different story. So we'll let that run for a minute while I decide how I want to lay out my other machines, because there's a lot to lay out here. So let's start with all the machines that'll go upstairs, and then we'll kind of go from there. Does that sound cool? You know what I could do? Well, so let's do the interface that's going to keep the uranium in there, so that I don't have to worry about that anymore. Does that sound cool? Also, we have to set up the machines that are going to auto-craft the uranium, so that's another thing that we're going to have to worry about. So maybe I'll hold off on the interface until I get that all taken care of. So I think the auto-crafting of uranium might happen down here, but we'll figure it out. So for now, put these guys in here. That looks cool. I probably don't need my wand at the moment, and that should be all right. So let's get our machines upstairs, right? So we've got the electric heater, that, and the condenser, and the liquid heat exchanger, and the steam boiler were all related to making stuff that'll probably still be in the basement area. Fluid solid canning machine, that might have been downstairs. So compressor, we've got one macerator. Our 6 recyclers can stay down here for the mass fab when we get to that. The thermal centrifuge, we'll want one upstairs, one downstairs, because that's part of the uranium production line. Metal former, we'll want both of you. Ore washing plant, that stays with the uranium production. Mass fab, pattern storage, and replicator, those will probably be upstairs now. Would probably be a good place to put those, because I do access those a lot. So that's cool. Mass fab, scanner, replicator, pattern storage. So the mass fabricator can stay downstairs, but the replicator will go upstairs. Not sure when and where I'll need my HV transformer lines, but we'll figure them out. And we have a lot of overclocker upgrades, holy cow. But we'll definitely want our transformer upgrades to be ready here. Crafter, that stuff is probably not necessary. Rolling machine, industrial centrifuge. This machine block was related to that thing that makes endstone dust. Endstone dust. Industrial grinder. So I have to make a new industrial grinder. That's not a big deal. What other machine type stuff? This was a fluid solid canning machine related to some things. The extractor we'll probably want to have in there. Induction furnace. Do I need the induction furnace anymore? Because that's just annoying in that I can't upgrade its tier, right? So do I really need that? I'm going to go ahead and say no. I don't think I do. There's nothing that it requires. So I'm going to put my induction furnace away because I don't think I need that. And then the industrial electrolyzer. Yeah, we definitely want those things. And some more of these. So you guys can go over here for now. All right. So let's put... so we've got like our compressor, our 2 metal formers, our thermal centrifuge, and our macerator could go here, right? So macerator, metal formers, one of you will be in extruding mode, okay, and one of you will be in rolling mode. You're the macerator, right? Thermal centrifuge, that can go up here. Look at all you items bouncing around. Compressor, that can go up here. What else do we have? Replicator, pattern storage. So those 3... So one of these doesn't need power, right? And it's the pattern storage. The replicator and scanner do need power, but they both have to touch the pattern storage. So we need like 3 in a row somewhere. One of them not needing power, which is kind of annoying. Because there's really no good 3 in a row spot, with the exception of this. But I kind of don't want that there. So let's put these guys... We'll put our pattern storage in the middle. We'll put our scanner... Well, scanner totally needs power, which is the annoying part. And then replicator. Cool. So you've got all your patterns still? Sweet. And you could scan. I'm just getting ready to... And ideally, I wouldn't want any transformers if I can avoid it. There will be a couple transformers that we need because there's a couple machines we can't upgrade. But, so you're tier 1. So we need 3, right? Tier 1, 2, 3, 4. Or LV, MV, right? Transformer. So that's... So, like, let's assume that we're, like... So the high is 2048. Which is what an MFSU outputs, right? Is 2048? Yeah. So it's outputting 2048. So an HV transformer would bring it down to 512. Another one would bring it down to 128. and then another one will bring it down to 32. So that's pretty much what we want in all these machines. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now I forget, is the scanner tier 4? So that's good. He can accept. And the replicator, that is also tier 4, I believe. Yes. And you don't need power. So none of these guys need transformers, right? We're going to want the fluid solid canning machine, and when we place this down, we're going to want to know where we're putting it because it matters, because we're going to need to do something with fluid conduiting. So I'm thinking the fluid solid canning machine for drain from cell, fill cell from tank, fluid enrich. So this is going to be the one that makes like the lapatronic dust stuff and the distilled water goes into. So that's going to be him. The extractor can chill here with 1, 2, 3, right? We've got an industrial electrolyzer that needs to be played with a little bit. You might chill here, industrial electrolyzer. I'm trying to remember how it was. And we might want, I'm going to put it here. Now this has input rate. So you didn't have a problem with HV, did you? I'm trying to remember if he blew up. He says medium tier. Maybe I should put him over here. Industrial electrolyzer. Cool. And then we'll have like medium voltage up in that general area, right? So that all looks good. So we're going to want our interfaces hooked up. We've got a lot of interfaces to hook up at this point. Not a big deal though, we can handle that. Any other machines in here right now that we want to set up? Probably not. So like you can be hooked up to a interface, right? With our item conduits and whatnot, and we'll filter that all set up in a minute. So you probably need to at least be hooked up to an HV. I'm trying to remember what my base looked like underground there, but I'm pretty sure I had him hooked up to medium voltage power. Yeah. So his input rate's 128, so I should do medium. So we'll just have to be a little bit careful with this. So in theory, none of this should be blowing up-y. And what I'm going to do is actually wrench you so that you're facing upwards. No explosions! Yeah, that's what's up. Cool. I like it. That looks good. And you should be fine. But we want a block here. Unfortunately. So you need to look like that, kinda. And then we'll let this wrap around here. That's right, I forgot I had my jetpack on. Yay, no explosions. Cool. And you're filling up power. Nice. So everything that's like upstairs gets power from this thing, from this MFSU. The mass fab is going to get power from this MFSU, and that should be good. Nice. All right, let's start thinking about how we're going to have channels running, because that's going to be a thing that we have to worry about a little bit, is making sure that that's all correctly laid out. Because we need to do some IC2 stuff now. That's going to be a little bit tricky. Because in the past, all my machines, I had my... What did I do for all my stuff in the... Because, yeah, all my other machines didn't actually need cables running to them. Let's take mechanism room as an example, because that's the only one that actually needed cabling. Where's my mechanism room? So because we had to do cabling here, and we were worried about oxygen, right? We did a lot with these guys. I'm thinking we should do the same for the IC2 room, so that we can continue just like in here, have power underneath, and then we can have the ranged connectors doing things. So that might be the way to go. So let's make phantom faces for the IC2 room. I think that's going to be 100% the way that we do stuff. So let's get like 20 of them. Why not? Missing gold cables. So I need gold cables hooked up, and I need some tiny piles of lithium dust, which I'm missing 9 of. Thanks, guys. I could just make some gold cable real fast manually, and I don't know that we'll need quite that many. We'll get some tiny piles of lithium dust. Which is what? Quartz and a thermal centrifuge. Alright. Gonna overclock these guys, and I'll be back in just a minute. Alright guys, got the phantom faces going, but seeing as we're getting a little long in the episode length, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the episode here. So, hey, look in the distance, you can see the Draconic Captain going. That's so cool. So we'll come back next episode. I will finish most of this between episodes, but maybe we'll see about interesting stuff happening between now and then. I don't know, we'll see. This guy we might wind up moving here just for symmetry purposes. That would be kind of cool. Like, that would be neat, right? But we'll see. We'll decide if we want to keep him there. For now, I'm going to make sure the 3 transform upgrades are in there, just in case he accidentally... Right, can't do that. Gets hooked up to power. Cool. Right? So I'm going to start setting up phantom faces, linking them to the machines up here, basically relay out my IC2 room, and we'll come back next episode and see how it turned out. Alright, for now, Daryl20, signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. As always, take it easy.